So apparently, Clapoose did not spend the holidays together. Clorenzo was with her family, and Papoose was with his. Let's talk about it. They 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 talk about it. Welcome back to She Could Talk the Podcast. I'm your host, Gangalee. Hey, and that's Gangalee on all streaming platforms. If you want to check out my music, look for the red glasses, look for the locks. You tell me if I can rock, okay? Okay. But over here on YouTube, on She Could Talk the Podcast, this is where I react to everything. I react to news, sports, crimes, musicians, politicians, YouTubers, TikTokers. If they're talking about it, I'm talking about it, okay? Okay. As you can see, we're still among the holidays because we just finished up Christmas, but we're rolling into the New Year's. So happy holidays to you all out there. Still and all, we're still in the trenches of the holidays. But I'd be remiss if I did not take some time out to react to Claressa and Papoose's Christmas. And the reason why, a lot of people are like, why are you so invested? Why are you so invested? They're force feeding it to us at this point. I literally saw a comment on their Breakfast Club photos on Instagram. So it wasn't the Breakfast Club, but it was the pictures from the Breakfast Club interview. But it was them at the Breakfast Club. And I saw some footage of them eating oxtail with the caterer. And yeah, they're just like all over the place. So like the private chef got Claressa and Papoose eating oxtails at the Breakfast Club. You see them taking photos, in the green room, in the lobby. It's a lot going on for them, right? So we've seen them all around. I seen someone say they're on a relationship tour. Someone said, why are they taking this relationship on a tour and force feeding us their love? So, of course, we were all expecting, I mean, me over here, She Could Talk the Reaction podcast. I know I was expecting to see a big extravagant Christmas for their first Christmas together as, you know, boyfriend and best friend. And I wanted to see, how it was going to play out. I was curious to see. And the baby just had her birthday, the golden child just had her birthday 2 weeks ago. And it was a big extravaganza. Shout out to Remy. So I was curious to see, the extravaganzas for Christmas with Claressa and Papoose. And my new nickname for them is Clapoose. You know how you have Benifer, which is Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez when they were together? Well, I'm calling them Clapoose as the new couple. But yeah, so what I wanted to do was kind of just react to how they spent their holidays respectively with their families. So without further ado, as you can see from my screen, Papoose was with his family. You can see Reminisce right there with her dad. And I can say they look alike. Like Reminisce. So when you see his daughter with Remy, when you see Reminisce with her mom, or Kenzie girl, as Remy calls her, if you see Kenzie with her mom, she looks just like her mom. When you see her with Papoose, I'm like, yeah, she looks like her dad. But then when you see her with Papoose and his family, she looks just like them. She definitely, the genes are there, so the genes are strong. And it's a nice, perfect blend of Remy and Papoose. So it was nice to see that he had his golden child with him for the holidays. And he was with his family. And he said he loves his mom, his sisters, his daughters, like any women in his life, Papoose loves. And I believe that. I don't doubt that at all. Claressa included. I don't doubt that at all. But interesting. Why didn't she come and have Christmas with him or vice versa? But I don't know. I guess they're still in the newlywed phases or stages of their relationship. But I mentioned earlier that I was seeing a lot of pictures of them floating around from the Breakfast Club interview because, they had on the same outfits, but not necessarily at the Breakfast Club. This is one of them. So this is Live Wire's radio show. It was on Instagram, and it basically did a nice post about Claressa and Papoose's holiday love and how they'll be spending time for the holidays. Further, leading me to believe that they were going to have a big extravaganza for the holiday. press conferences, media tours. They broke the internet last week with their Breakfast Club interview, and she's saying that divorce takes time and best friends were, designated. There was a lot going on, right? So I expected a big Christmas, Van Cleef jewelry and custom designer, etc. I was just expecting it big. But look, I wanted to read this, if you will. This was one of the things that I saw, and I was like, okay, yeah, they're gonna do it big. I'm waiting to see what next week looks like. This was last week, before Christmas. Now we're after Christmas. We kind of see what happened. But let's read it, shall we? So it says here, Claressa Shields and Papoose share Christmas vibes together. The holidays are all about love, laughter, and good energy. And Claressa Shields and her best friend, Papoose, are clearly feeling every bit of the Christmas spirit. The boxing champion and the legendary rapper were spotted enjoying cozy holiday vibes together, showing fans a softer side, a joyful side, away from the spotlight and the grind. Claressa, known worldwide as one of the greatest fighters of all times, looked relaxed and glowing as she celebrated the new season with Papoose by her side. Papoose, a respected lyricist and a family oriented figure in hip hop, brought that same calm, confident energy that made him a fan favorite for years. So they literally said Papoose is a respected, family oriented figure in hip hop. And I guess he is a family oriented figure in hip hop going through a divorce. All right. So it says their Christmas moment wasn't about flash or headlines. It was about togetherness, matching smiles, festive surroundings, and genuine chemistry showed two powerful individuals enjoying peace, love, and balance during the holidays. Fans online are loving the pair, calling them a power couple and applauding the positive energy they bring as they each support each other's careers and personal lives. From championship belts to classic bars, Claressa Shields and Papoose prove that strength and love can coexist beautifully. As the year winds down, one thing is clear: the holiday season hits different when it's shared with someone you love. Beautiful words. Beautiful words. Someone said, I hope they're both happy together. Beautiful words. But it also made it seem like, because like I'm used to seeing media runs like Essence magazine, Ebony magazine, Source magazine, Double XL. I grew up in the magazine era, New York Times, The New Yorker. The list goes on. I grew up in a time when Page Six was giving you Page Six still gives you celebrity details and gossip and socialite information and wedding announcements, right? So that's the vibe I'm getting here. Like they're trying to, the media press tour is like, hey, we're putting these guys together. They are together, and we want you to see how they're spending the holidays together as a beautiful, loving couple. All right. So hey, what we're seeing is believing, and so far we've seen them on a media run tour. So I was like, I don't doubt it. I'm curious to see how it's gonna all unfold for the holidays. Is Golden Child gonna be with Remy and he doesn't see Golden Child? Is he gonna be with Claressa? Are they gonna be all together? I was curious to see it play out. So another thing I wanted to point out was the filters before we move on. Let's look at the filters because that's the thing that I mentioned before with taking care of yourself, drinking water, resting, maybe put some cucumbers on your eyes at nighttime. Like give yourself some pamper time. And especially if you're a celebrity in the public eye, you're going to be on camera a lot, you're going to be interviewed a lot. The camera is not nice, right? And then other people's cameras are not nice because you can control the way you look per se, like with filters, with, angles, etc., right? We know that. Everyone can do that. But when you go and get interviewed, right, ringside, and someone holds up the camera, they're not going to be like, oh, wait, let me go ahead and put a filter on Claressa Shields and, wipe out the bags under her eyes or whatever. No, they're not. So we see multiple inconsistent looks of you, right? Looking tired, looking older than you should. Then we see like the same interview. Then these pictures come out online. Not a bag under the eye. No bags. Skin fresh. looking refreshed. And we know it was not the case because I see people do exposés on the way she looked and how she physically, visibly looked tired. And what's wearing on her? What's aging her rapidly? I think the relationship. But let's continue. So I was able to kind of gather some footage of what she was doing on her Christmas morning.
Being in the right mind and right even shape to get up and go for a morning run to push myself.
So this was Christmas Day.
With that, I just feel like, I want to get on here and just say be thankful for your family. And, with so much going on, people can find negativity and find rumors and find lies to spread.
Allegedly.
In a moment like this where, I don't know for y'all, but like Christmas just don't feel like Christmas, every year. For this year, I did the best I could. I sucked up my energy and, dealt with the little depression I was having. And I had I mustered up enough energy to put on my Christmas tree, buy my little kids some gifts, just to enjoy Christmas. And thank God that my sister cooked because I could not cook this Christmas. But
so I want to just pause really quickly here, right? Sounds sad. Not what I expected based on like the press run I just seen. The Breakfast Club, we're together every day, all day. We live together, we eat together, we train together, right? So I legit was expecting Christmas to be together. And then, a man with obligations, previous obligations, has to time or manage his time, right? So maybe compromise a birthday with, okay, I'm gonna spend a birthday with my daughter. I'll spend Thanksgiving with you. I'll spend Christmas with the kids. I'll spend New Year's with you. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like some type of time management, right? But I think we're kind of at like 2 for 2 right now. Ari, did they spend Thanksgiving together? I don't know. But I the vibe and the energy I'm getting, I feel like she had a disappointed Christmas. Like I think she thought it was gonna legit be her and Pap for Christmas. And then when it didn't happen, then she had to revert back to, and this is just allegedly. You see I'm wearing my shirt. I told you I was gonna wear it. Allegedly. Allegedly my opinion. I have no horse in the race. But I feel like maybe when things didn't go as planned or when she kind of got when Pat broke the news, like, hey, I'm staying up here with the fam. I'm got to be with the golden child. Then she reverted back to her family. I noticed that she had her niece in her Snapchat and in her lives. It was like, oh, you're with your daughter. Well, I'm with my niece. Vibes I'm getting. But let's continue. So this is her on Christmas morning, after she opened up the gifts with the kids, and she has the kids out riding the bikes, and she's on Snapchat Live.
But overall, I'm just happy I was able to do that. But in a time like this, with so much going on, and Christmas not feeling like Christmas, you got people out here putting out lies and fake rumors, and it's just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
She's
it
talking
shows.
About that cousin.
Be careful. It just shows it shows that these people is miserable, and they're just sad. They just so sad to be out here putting out these lies. And, I'm at a point now where, everybody like, oh, you too big to be responding. You don't get to respond. You gotta let people just lie on you. You gotta let people just make up rumors. You're not supposed to address nothing. I guess I'm at that point in my life. And I'm like, I guess. But like I said, I'm also learning too. Some stuff don't need to be addressed. People believe everything bad about you, but as soon as it's something good, it's a problem. Listen, if you want to go ahead and believe all these lies, you can go ahead. But as soon as I announced I signed for that $8 million, it was all these questions. Oh, is the money real? Who was winning records? Who's this? Who's that? Nobody wanted to believe it. But
I'm just gonna share my opinion right there with Claressa and anyone else who's listening, tuning in. I don't think we questioned the deal initially, right? It's just like any other business deal or business merger. You literally merge Claressa Shields, which is a brand, Salida Promotions, which is your boxing promotion company, and Win Records. So all three of you merged to create this $8 million deal for Claressa Shields. And we just had questions like, how did this come about? What was the deciding factor? What made you say, yeah, this is who I'm going to go with versus anyone else? How many other offers did you have? What does the offer entail? Like, say, if someone signs a football deal and they'll be like, oh, yeah, I signed with the, I don't know, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a 3-year contract. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, you're gonna get a stipulation to it, like 3-year contract, running back, and I'm the second wave. So meaning if I'm not gonna be starting the game, but I'll be in the game. I'll be in a couple of games. You'll know what you signed before you signed it, is what I'm trying to say. So I think that we just all became a little bit more skeptical when we didn't get that much clarity, you know? Like, hey, is it like 4 fights at, T-Mobile Arena, or in this case, 4 fights at the Little Caesar Arena? Who are the opponents? How many fights a year? What are your opponents getting? $8 million. That seems like you should be fighting some really top-notch opponents. Who are the opponents? Because a lot of people want to see you fight particular fighters that you don't seem to not be interested in fighting. So we're just curious. We were just curious as to what does the deal entail. I don't think that no one doubted the deal initially. It's just when the details became murky, excuse me, and weeks later, we're still here and we still have not gotten details about that deal. Excuse me. We still haven't got details as far as like, okay, so I step back a bit. We got a little bit of details. 2-year contract, 4 fights, right? But then it's like you kind of begin to be all over the place. You announced this $8 million deal. You got $3 million up front. Great. I applaud all of that. That's right up your alley. You're a boxer. That's as you should get that. No one's doubting that. No one's saying you shouldn't get that. You should get that. I think you should get 15 million, me personally, but okay, 8, you got it. And then no one's doubting that at all. It's just like everything else that came into play. You had a contract that you announced. You did a whole media blitz, catered event for media, private event for them to, for you to tell them about your deal. That was just at the beginning of November that you announced that deal. For less than 30 days later, you to say that 2026 you're having a baby. Now, aren't you in a contract for 2 years? So that makes us look like, well, what's happening? I thought you had a contract. Is it a contract? Is it a real contract? Or is it not? And then, after you sign the $8 million contract, the first fight is Franchon Cruz, which don't get me wrong. I think that could be an interesting fight. I think it can be an upset if Franchon play her cards right. It could be a good fight, period. You know? However, it's like no one kind of really wanted you to fight Franchon afterwards. After you signed that deal, we were looking for, I don't know, a Netflix type of event. Am I making sense? So I don't think no one doubted it, right? But we have recently come to doubt it based on just everything else that has been surrounding it, if that makes any sense. But let's continue.
In my bank account, you believe it. But as soon as somebody get the lying and saying all different type of, like off the wall type of stuff, y'all just believe it and just eat it all up. And it's just weird. But I'm at a point where it's like I'm not even about to defend something that's so ludicrous and that's so stupid and so out of my character. You know what I'm saying? And then to somebody who I have not seen in 9, 8 years. I feel like I don't even know this person. You know what I'm saying? It's been so long.
So she's talking about her cousin Salita or Shalita. You guys keep me honest. Ironically, do you know her Instagram name is Remy Savage? What is that about? But anyway, her cousin Shalita. And several people have said this, and I agree. So I'm going to also say it as well. With family like that, you don't need friends or enemies at this point, right? With family like that. Now, I want to ask y'all, do y'all believe the cousin? Do you believe everything the cousin has said thus far? Join me in the comments and tell me what y'all think. Do y'all believe her cousin? Now, I'm going to tell you like this. A broken clock can be right at least once a day. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense? A broken clock can be right at least once a day. And that to say is, I don't believe everything that the cousin is saying. I believe parts of her story is fractured. Doesn't make sense to me. But I also believe there is some truth in there. Now, what parts are true, what parts are not, I don't know. I think it's really hella ratchet to be on the internet. Now, one other thing I will say, because some people are like, oh, she's a liar, she's a liar. The one thing I will say that makes me believe that she might not be lying, first of all, we know they come from a dysfunctional family. That's not up for debate. It's confirmed. They're in the museum. It's confirmed. But that's not it. She said that she used to be out there in them streets tricking, right? Tricking. That's very serious. And I've never just seen someone lie and say that they're tricking. Like that's not something I don't think you would lie about. I don't know. I don't. And if you do, your mentals are you need to be evaluated, right? So to me, I feel like she threw herself under the bus as well. Drugs, tricking, not knowing who her father of her children. She had her own scenarios in there of dysfunctionality that lets me feel like, if she's so open with herself, maybe some of it could be true. Now, is all of it true? Am I listening to her verbatim? I didn't even listen to her. I got bits and pieces, highlights here, highlights there from just, people reacting to it, Tasha K's highlights, but I didn't see the full video. And I really don't want to. Because I feel like that's going into a territory, a gray area of he say, she say. And the way I like to react, as you see, my reaction style is I like to react to them. I don't want to put words in Clarissa's mouth, even though a lot of people argue with me and say I do, but I don't put words in anybody's mouth, right? I am a reaction channel. So I'm reacting to what they do, reacting to what they say. Now the cousin is saying stuff and she's doing stuff, right? But it's a toe in a thin line of liability, if that makes any sense. And I don't care to partake in that. Plus I don't care to I don't like that, because despite what people believe, I actually do like Claressa. I do. And I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Family, they always say family would come at you first and come at you the worst, right? So I don't like that. I don't like that her cousin did that and did it for a paycheck. And you see the way the family looks. I'm gonna do something about it because I found some interesting stuff out. People, shout out to the talkers. You guys been sending me stuff, so I'm still sorting through a lot of things. But I said I'm gonna probably just maybe do a case study on the family, especially with the cousin, coming forward with her craziness and her sister doing a GoFundMe that pissed Claressa off a couple of months ago. So she basically was publicly online begging, people to help her with her bills. So there's a lot of dysfunctionality there that I will circle back on, just overall at a high holistic level. But I don't want to deep dive into that cousin and entertain it because it is like I tell you right now, this is and I just said it in one of my last videos. I said I feel like there's a dark energy around Claressa. This is the first time that I'm not seeing that energy. I'm seeing a difference in her. So yeah, her cousin's doing a great job, kicking her while she's down or whatever. I'm not gonna participate in that. Papoose is doing a great job making her look crazy online. I'm not gonna participate in that. I am reacting, and I hope and I pray that some of the things that I'm reacting to and some of the advice I possibly give or some of the suggestions I possibly make can resonate and and will resonate in particular with Claressa or anyone out there who may be possibly going through a similar situation, or can find words or find some words of wisdom or words of help or words of solace in what I say. All right. But yeah, she's talking about the cousin here, right? And I could tell in my energy coming from the ether, I feel like with Papoose being in New York or New Jersey with the baby. You hear me now? The baby. Because someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, fun fact, you do know she had a press conference last year, the day after the baby's birthday party as well. and pulled him away for it. But I guess because, the whole situation was new to us and it wasn't on my particular radar to be on it every freaking minute, I might have missed that one, you know? But I did see it this year. It's like because he went home for the weekend, and this is just my opinion, guys, allegedly. See, I'm wearing my shirt for you all. But I feel like allegedly, when Papoose went home to celebrate the birthday party with the baby, he had to come back and then double time it with her. Like she ramped up her need for his attention after that. The very next day was a press conference. Everyone joked him and said he had on the same clothes. A couple of days later, they was at the Hall of Fame event, in Michigan. So, and he had on the same clothes there too. And I got receipts on that. Um, what else? Then I feel like she did something else. Oh, how can we forget? They rounded the week out with the Breakfast Club. So they literally went on another media blitz tour for no reason. I guess they were trying to promote Bars on Wheels, and they was trying to promote her album, and I guess they figured promoting it together. But it ended up just being a debacle of just them trying to prove, well, Clorenzo trying to prove that they're happy and they're in a happy relationship, right? Got crazy. But I think coupled with Papoose, the disappointment of him not being there and being with his daughter, not necessarily being not with her, but being with his daughter. I think that got her a little salty. And then her cousin went with Tasha K. Tasha K has a huge platform on YouTube, and her numbers can rival your numbers on paid for, authentic, organic numbers. So a lot of people can see that, your cousin or pay or what have you, or you just need someone to pay for the subscription and screenshot it and then it's viral, which is basically what has happened. And people can just kind of hear what your cousin's saying. And, a lot of people are like, family, no. And I also know that a lot of people know, I myself included, that family would try and sabotage you. So I take that with a grain of salt. Oh, she ain't helped me out, because to me, a thing that had my spidey senses tingling about the cousin was she said, oh, she forced me to have the baby. First of all, it's not her baby, she's not your baby father, but she forced you to have the baby, and then you had to babysit your child, something to that effect. And I was like, what? Get her out of here. So I could see where the heat from just all of us reacting and all of us having our opinions, that viral Breakfast Club interview where they basically kind of made her look stupid. And then Papoose not being here, but being with his family and saying, we are family. I got my sisters with me. I'm over here with my family. Like, those are the music he was using on his Instagram to highlight his family. I think his messages. And then she's here. And she decides to be with her family. So I think it's a little bit of a blue Christmas, right? As a result of that. And I could see that. But then coupled with the cousin and that her shenanigans, I could see that.
And this person going around just lying. And
I'm not going to entertain it
man.
further than that. The cousin.
It's disgusting. And these bloggers or whoever who giving these folks a platform to just lie, they even more disgusting. Just bottom of the barrel, crabs in a bucket. And I also worked out on Christmas, helped the kids.
So now,
I put stuff together for the kids.
So last night, I believe it was, you guys keep me, I don't think it was last night, she did this live, and, showing her back in the gym practicing. And so she's at home. And I know she's at home because the blood clot fire alarm, I couldn't take it. Yo, I did a couple of months back a reaction to a track star from Virginia who hit the other girl with the baton. It went viral. Do y'all remember that? And the news team went to her home in Virginia to interview her and her mom and her dad about, the whole situation, because the girl was pressing charges. The victim was pressing charges on the girl who hit her with the baton. And the girl who had the attitude and, the temper and hit the other one with the baton, they're at her house. These headphones separate out everything into like tracks. All right. So I could literally like close my eyes and I can tell you like, this is over here. That's behind me over here. That's below me right here. Right. I listened to that interview and I heard the dog drinking the water, like right by my foot. So this is the interviewer sitting there with their, like, I guess, recorder, recording, interviewing the girl and her mom and her dad. So they're in the living room sitting there. You hear the dog drinking the water. You hear the fire alarm above them beeping every second. Then you heard another one, like maybe in the dining area, beeping every other second after that. And then you heard one down the hall beeping. And I was like, yo, I'm convinced. I'm convinced that these people, like the beep chips away at their brain. Hear me out. Because I feel like that family was crazy, allegedly, with the daughter who hit the other one with the baton. Because if you saw the parents of the victim that got hit with the baton, completely different family. And no beeping fire alarm. And I just follow me. Kevin Samuels. Look at God Bless the Dead. And some people might be irritated that I mentioned Kevin Samuels. But Google or you look on YouTube about what how he feels about fire alarms beeping. He, just to paraphrase, and I'm not going to say I 100% believe this, but it kind of makes sense to me. He says crazy people don't hear the fire alarm in their house, that beeping, to change the battery because they're crazy. I don't know how true that is. That was Kevin Samuel's words. I'm paraphrasing it. That wasn't verbatim. That was paraphrasing. But I can see it. I can understand the logic and thinking in that one just a little bit. Because this live was clearly for like about an hour. And that fire alarm beeped the whole entire time. The whole entire time. And someone even said to her in the chat, because I was like fast forwarding through it, and someone was like, "Oh yeah, I know the fire alarm," and she was like, "Oh yeah, I gotta find it to change it." You need to just listen for it. You could follow the sound. But anyway, that was just a pet peeve of mine. I think that's psychotic. Change your battery. Anyone who has that beeping is not cool. I see people on TikTok that's like, "Oh, you're in the black house when you hit a fire alarm." That's not even something I'm proud of, because guess what? You get a fire, you're not going to have no alarm. Change the battery. That's what it's for. Change the battery.
Christmas, took them outside. They rode their little new bikes and stuff for Christmas, their new scooters. Listen, it was a lot. Christmas is a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Christmas is a lot. Story. But it was just one of those things where I'm like, yo, this is just, Is she cussing here? So you need to stop. You mute that.
Yeah, still wears Pap.
No, but it's just always super. It's busy, so I was just tired. But I ended up waking up to a whole bunch of people writing me about, where I was at Christmas, why I wasn't with Pat, like they don't see I'm with my family. And then I woke up to people saying that I didn't have enough Christmas gifts under the Christmas tree for my kids. Who are my sister kids, but I call my sister my kids. And they will tell you, if somebody asks them, was they your mama, they'd be like, somewhat like that. Because it's like, I'm their auntie by my...
You're their auntie. It's okay. Like, my nieces and nephews is my kids too. And they know I have one nephew that he goes out his way to come see me states and states away. And he's grown. And he's like, yo, auntie, I'll be there for my birthday. And I love it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the one kid that I didn't have, but he's my kid. So I get that. But when people ask me, like, hey, do you have kids? I'm not claiming kids I didn't birth. Does that make any sense? But I have kids. You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? So I get what she's saying there, but I feel like the push to prove it is not necessary. And so effing what? If you bought them one Ninja Turtle and 2 basketballs and a pair of boxing gloves, then you bought them something. I don't care if you bought everything from the Dollar General. I don't care. That's not, to me, I feel like the kids, just as long as you made them happy, stop worrying about the people. You know what I'm saying? Stop worrying about, like, look at her. She's super worried. Like, oh, they said I didn't have enough. So what? You know what you should have said? Why don't you buy some and send them over here so I can put them under the tree for them? If you feel my kids ain't have enough gifts, I could give you a P.O. box for you to send some gifts. Do a little trolling, you know? Don't fight and argue with them. Don't lose your blood pressure. Go, send yourself through the roof. But just, oh, it wasn't enough gifts for your liking? Then send some. Done.
Their mom too. So my nieces and my nephews know what's up with me. You feel me? But they call me Ressa or Auntie Ressa. Whatever.
Too much
But I
explaining.
read some of these comments and they like, oh, why you didn't do more on the tree? Why didn't you get them more gifts? And I'm looking at what these folks are saying. I'm like, that's just crazy that they say that because my nieces and my nephews got everything that they wanted for Christmas. But I don't just get them stuff for Christmas. Saying my bad. But I'm reading these comments and I'm like, it be the audacity of folks for me to say some of this stuff that they be saying because it's like, yo, one.
So, in the first part on Christmas Day, she was jogging and she said that people have been saying stuff about her online and she's not going to respond to it. Right? She's not going to respond.
Me and my little brother did the Christmas tree together,
But she's responding.
And we haven't done that since we were like little bitty kids. I can't even remember the last time we had a Christmas tree in our house. We was talking about it and I'm like, yo, I don't even remember we done a Christmas tree. So that's like, I just can't believe that people was doing that. And then I had a few folks writing me about something that someone said about me who I have not seen in 9 years. When I say I have not seen them.
So I'm trying to tell you, this is what's bothering her. Her cousin going up there talking trash about her, and then everyone like, reacting to it, responding to it. It's going viral over the here Christmas weekend. So I'm pretty sure that kind of put a damper on her mood, coupled with Papoose not being there with her. You can see it on her. She's not the angry groat. She's not the arrogant Claressa. She's kind of looking more back to normal, if you will. But that's what bothered her is the fact that her cousin was able to successfully get a big platform like Tasha K to spill the beans. And like I tell you, would you ask me, cover it in detail or whatever? I probably won't because I just feel like that's too much. But I will say, me personally, I say I'm 50-50 on the fence because a broken clock can be right at least one time a day. So maybe some things that she's saying might be a little bit of truth sprinkled in there with some falsehood or some farcities, but for the most part, I don't know. And I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole and be digging and digging and digging because she looks a little. But that also makes me feel like, why would she lie? Because she threw herself under the bus with some of the stuff that she has admitted to doing. So there you go. But I'm still keeping it on the back burner because we don't know what else might happen with that, right? We don't know. So I'm still watching it, but I don't know if I want to jump in just yet and kind of go down that rabbit hole. Cringy. Just like if you notice with me, I told you guys that I came across Jada the Box's YouTube channel, but I don't think I would be covering it, because Jada's telling that story. And I refer you to go over there. So I rerouted people over there. Now, people, reacted to Jada the Box's videos, shared it, etc. And there's nothing wrong with that because that's what I do. I react to videos, give my reactions, share it, etc. But I like to react to what they're saying, what they're doing directly. You know what I'm saying? Like some things might be a little third hand party, okay? But not too like let Jada tell that story, right? Let Shalita and Tasha K tell that story in depth. We saw what happened to Tasha K with Cardi B. So I don't want to I hope I'm making sense there, right? Now don't get me wrong. I am not a hater of Claressa. I'm trying to help course correct, right? I feel like she has the potential to shine and be beautiful inside and out, right? Because for years, we didn't care what she looked like. We didn't care about her hair, her clothes, whatever. We just gave her props because she was a boxer. Now I would like to see it where we don't care what she looks like, but we're seeing that glow up. We don't care about her hair, but we're liking the hairstyle. We don't really, but the makeup looks good. And you're still that boxer that we respect. And you're still on your craft. Don't stray away from what makes you great, because Papoose doesn't make you great. I'm looking at you dead, and hopefully you see me. You make you great. Your family don't make you great. Your raggedy cousin don't make you great. Your sister that cooked Christmas don't make you great. And it's good to have a support system. But I'm going to tell you, it's lonely at the top. Claressa, it's lonely at the top. Okay? You cannot bring people with you. I learned that the hard way. You can't bring them with you. Because guess what will happen? You're not going to stay at the top long if you bring these people with you. You are going to have to start learning how to lose more than the physical weight. You're going to have to learn to lose the dead weight. Okay? Because I would love, more than anything, for you to have the awesome, dopest redemption story of 2026. No cap. I would love to see it, because I would be right over here like this. I'd be right over here like this. Just remember what I said, though. It's lonely at the top. So guess what happened? Your cousin, she X'd herself out. You have no reason now to worry about, and somebody might say I'm wrong for what I'm about to say here, but you have no reason to be worried about giving her kids anything. Worried about her and her her accommodations or her living arrangements or anything, because your cousin didn't care about what she had to say about you to Tasha K on the internet. And you got to stop letting people guilt you into feeling like you need to do something for them. That's what we call entitlement. And when you look around, some of the darndest, not worthy people expect entitlement. So start to use discernment and pick and choose. Okay? And just remember what I said, Claressa, is lonely at the top. Get used to the loneliness. And I'm not talking about you can't have friends, you can't have a happy relationship. You can have all of that with the right team in place. All right, let's get back to it.
I have not physically touched them, seen them with my eyes inside the same room, same location, same area in 9 years.
She's
And they're
talking about the
asking me
cousin.
about what this person said, and I said, listen, bro. If you want to choose to believe foolery, go ahead. I'm not going to fix it up anymore. I'm not going to do it. Because the thing is, some folks will believe everything bad about you, but as soon as something good happens, they just can't believe it. So when something bad happened, everybody got to jump on the bandwagon and say this and that and just go crazy. But then as soon as I signed my $8 million deal, everybody like, oh,
I couldn't get the beeps out.
The money ain't real. It's fake money.
I tried,
It's
y'all.
a fake deal. And I'm like, so how is it unbelievable that I can really, I talk to every entity from MVP.
Don't we feel, is it just me? Or do you feel like we're having deja vu as I react to this video? So she was outside on Christmas Day, running, supposed to be enjoying time with her niece and nephew and their new toys, but instead she chose to go live and talk to us and tell us why we don't believe her $8 million deal is real, and if she showed us her bank account, we would see it's real, right? She told us that already. Now here we are again. She talked about the cousin in the Christmas walk video. Now she's, the next day she's live on YouTube. Same rhetoric. You gotta let it go. And I honestly wish, and I'm not even being funny, y'all, I wish that I could talk to Claressa. I wish that I could call her and be like, yo, this is your YouTube auntie. I know. I'm the one that probably give you hell, but I do care. And I believe in tough love, but not that dysfunctional love that's going on over there. And I would try to sit her down and give her some game. Real game. Game that can transcend anything, from hip hop, from being a woman, from being from an urban city, and it can even go into boxing, wherever the money resides. I've been saying that I wanted to be her publicist since about March. of this year. Fell on deaf ears.
To Salida, to Win Records, to Eddie Hearn with Matchroom. I talk to everybody, so it's like, why is it so crazy that I'm getting a deal that's worth this much and I got the most accomplishments, the most, man, I am hard to beat in a boxing match. Like when I tell you I'm hard to beat, you cannot beat me. Here we go. No, no, ma'am, whoever you, what she say, you talking? Yeah, and now you're here for my channel. Because what I'm supposed to do on here, you just supposed to look at me. Anyways, it's like, yo, so now that
She
I
be
unlocked this
arguing with
deal
her
because I'm the
peoples.
most accomplished, I'm undefeated, ranked number one pound for pound, one boxer in the world. It's like, it's unbelievable. And then it got inducted into the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame on them. What? Right. But don't bet against me.
And I want to take this time to give her a clap and an award for that. A round of applause, I should say. Because the Hall of Fame it's history. You know what I'm saying? That it's a big step, a big feat, and she deserves it, right? And I know we give her hell, okay? Because we want to see better from her. And we all don't like this messy relationship. We all do not like just a lot of the mess. The Layla Ali mess, the Remy Ma mess, the Papoose mess, this $8 million deal that looks very money laundering-ish mess. Everyone is just a little concerned here, especially for someone who has not been on our radar for any type of this stuff for any of us, right? We thought she was just a boxing girl focused on boxing. We let her slide with her ESPN body naked photo shoot. We let her slide with some of them hairdos and some outfits that she's worn over the years. We let it slide. Because guess what? That's Claressa Shields. She's a boxer. We're not holding that. That's not what we're looking at her for. Right? But then it's like,
I gotta find that firearm. It's getting on my nerves too.
thank you. Did you hear her? Somebody said it in the chat.
But don't bet against me. I gotta find that firearm. It's getting on my nerves too. But I'm still, listen, you ain't gotta like me.
That lets you know that she don't even hear that joint, that fire alarm. That's mental. That's a mental thing too. Because that it's meant to beep to the point of irritation that you check it, that you change it. Change the battery. I've seen people have that joint beeping for years. And it's just like, and you say, do you hear that? And they're like, what? I've seriously seen that. And people are like, listen. And they be like, beep. And they be like, I don't hear nothing. Because it's chipped away at their brain successfully. I think that's a form of some type of mental psychosis. I don't know. You guys tell me. What's the deal with that?
You ain't got to agree with my life decision, none of that. But when it comes to that boxing, don't bet against me. I don't know how to lose, so I don't lose.
You heard it. She said you do not have to agree with her, like her, or deal with or agree with any of her life decisions. But bet on the boxing because she's gonna win. And I'll give her that. But my thing is this: we want to see real fights. Okay, I don't want to see you fighting the nursing home lady. I don't want to see you fighting the girl that only had 5 fights in the backyard against her brothers in Australia. I don't want to see you fighting your home girl, your bestie, your big sister again. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, the fights are starting to look rigged. Okay, and I just want to sidebar and divert over to Franchon Cruz real quick. Franchon, DMV, 757, Hampton Roads. Home, that's the second home for me. Please, the way I know DMV is set up, I would like to see some of that DMV in February. That's all I'm saying. Because this can be an opportunity. And I'm going to leave it at that. Now, Claressa, I'm going to divert back to you. I would love to see you drop the weight, get back to where you were. Like, let me tell you my favorite look of you, mama. When you had on, and a lot of people didn't like it, I guess. And I just want to make sure that I'm looking at it because you had the cute short haircut. A lot of people, it was Remy inspired. But you had on the, let me see here. You know, the Timberlands. You know me, I try to always make sure I can find it. But you know, like I believe like a black bikini, the Timberland boots, the short hairstyle to the side. That was pure sophistication coming into the ring, girl. I feel like the short hairstyles like that are you. Opulent. It highlights your face, you know. It wasn't too short, but it was like a shoulder length. The Timberlands. Get back to that. That body was T. Get back to that. That was your boxing weight. You look good. You was in shape. You was fit. Get back to that. But for February, I want to see you get back to that and get in the ring and talk your shit. Focus. If it means that you do not see Papoose between now and February, you get your eating right, get your running on, get your exercising on, get your training on. Get the hell off of social media. That might help you out. That might help you out. Now, I'm gonna continue because, like I said, I'm detecting a lot of disappointment from her holidays.
I don't. Like when it
And
comes to
she's
this
trying to make the
boxing,
best
these
of it.
skills, I've been hearing them popping in. Oh, she not skilled. She not. How come I've been pound for pound on a pound for pound list for 4 or 5 years? Number one, it ain't. It ain't my booty getting it. Why you actually not open? Make sure you rinse it out. It's dirty. No, you just had this paper in there. You should rinse it out. The paper dirty? I don't know if the paper is dirty or not. I just want you to rinse it out so you can be good. And not I normally drink milk. Get out, bro. Go put some water in there. You're not putting no milk in there. What about some juice? Juice? I got it out. You know you're not finna drink a whole lot of it. I know. Go ahead, pour you some juice in there. Go ahead then. And see if you can find your shoes while you're up there, girl, and some socks.
The vibe I get from the interaction, because her niece was with her the whole time, and then if you go on Snapchat, I was debating on using some of the footage from this live because she was live on Snapchat, like exercising as well, but I didn't. I didn't use it because I didn't like the way her niece was dancing. I just didn't like it for a little girl. And I felt like I'm just old school. My mom, my grandma, want somebody with a pop like, what the hell are you doing? As a little girl, just you gotta see it. Go look for it. But I won't. Certain things I try to just morally. I don't like to toe those lines. But I didn't like it. The same little girl that's up here, I didn't like it. So I was like, you talk grown in front of her. You're definitely dancing grown in front of her because all of this conversation about the other cousin with the homelessness and the abuse and whatever else that we were hearing just now, this little girl's right there taking it in, her niece. So, and she says that she's heavily influential to these children because they're like her children, right? And when you think about your children, you do want to be that filter, right? You want to be that level of filtration or that level of protection for them from certain things. You don't want to subject them to it right away. That's just my theory. So, upon, watching literally the same live or different segments of it on Snapchat last night, I was like, the little girl was just cringy. And then they did a couple of routines together, which I was like, okay, that's not bad. The routine part. But while she was exercising and she's like punching the bag or whatever, she's playing music. And the little girl, they're on camera. The little girl is gyrating and just doing too much, in my opinion. But I'm off of that and back over here.
Man. When I got with the last dude I was with, I don't know if it was because she liked him or what. I have no idea.
So that's
Yeah,
what
my
the
granny
so
used to let us say lie.
she's really upset about that girl, the cousin Shalita. I guess Shalita mentioned something about Tony and saying that Tony went with another cousin, and then she took the guy from the cousin or whatever. And I'm gonna tell you like this: Like her Papoose situation that she, felt comfortable sliding into the DMs of a married man and still feels comfortable parading that relationship around publicly without any type of thought of, a repercussion, perhaps, And when I say a repercussion, people be like, well, that's not, they broke up. Then Remy cheated first. I know, guys, Remy cheated first. I'm going to beat y'all to the comments. Remy cheated first, guys. Remy cheated first. I don't know who cheated first, but y'all so adamant about that. But despite all of that, you know what I'm saying? I feel like every time I've seen women act like this, they've always acted like this. Does that make any sense? If a woman rolled up and took someone's guy ever, or rolled up and didn't have a problem sliding into someone's DMs, now sometimes things can happen because there's some grimy people out there that'll be married, don't tell you they're married, pursue you, court you, would do a whole situation. You know what I'm saying? Because I was victim of that. And then you don't even know until it's too late type of thing. But I was 19 when that happened. But nonetheless, then it's situations where you're like, I don't care. I don't care if he's married. I don't care if he has a girlfriend. I don't care if she has a boyfriend. I'm sliding in. When people move like that, they always moved like that. That's not a new thing. And the reason why I'm emphasizing that is because that's one of the things with the cousin that I can possibly believe. I wouldn't doubt it. Let's put it like that. Do I 100% believe it and convicted? No. But I wouldn't be surprised if that is how she arrived in a relationship with Tony by way of circumventing him from her other cousin. I don't know. But trust me and believe me, behaviors and patterns don't appear overnight. Okay? So if you've been, she even said it herself in one of the interviews that I responded to, that if she wasn't with Papoose, she would be out here taking our men. So that is one of the things I can see being true that the cousin said. But let's continue.
Like, say, sis, if we get mad, like, you a liar. She be like, what you say? Say you a fibber. You don't say liar.
So the word liar in their house was like a big taboo, like a curse word or like profanity.
Oh, for all y'all who subscribe to me, if y'all like watching boxing training, Shakur fighting against Teofimo Lopez January 31st in Madison Square Garden. And you guys need to go subscribe to his channel. He been posting like his workout videos, like all professional. It's the Christmas giveaway. She had her kids with her. And I said,
I kind of cut that off because I'm like, I know his fight is before yours, but can we get some more on your fight? When we watching you, we're watching the drama. We're all dialed in on the drama, right? But I've said it before, I'll say it again. Some people get mad at me. Some people are like, oh, please, you're in people's business. You're judging people. But I'm going to say it again. I think that she has to kind of regroup, reevaluate who's around her, and focus on her brand, focus on boxing. And focus on promoting the fight that you're about to have. And just like she had a fight in June, and I did an episode reaction on her in May, I believe it was. And I said, I don't like all this extra BS around her, so I'm going to take it upon myself to promote the fight for July 22nd. Go look it up. Go look it up. And that's how I feel again. I feel like now I got to promote the fight for February 22nd. Because everything else is clouding and drowning out what she does. And I mean, that's very telling. That should be a sign to tell you that maybe this isn't working in my favor. Because when you were with Tony, when you were with whoever else you were with, that relationship and those relationships, they never overshadowed you and your brand. Now you're just a clown in the circus. And it's so funny how Papoose, because words, I'm a very active listener and I move with discernment. So a lot of things that people be trying to argue with me about in my comments, I'm like, you clearly don't All right. So anyway, I listened to Papoose at the Breakfast Club, and he said several times, "Hey, I didn't want to be a part of the circus. We didn't want to be a part of the circus. We don't do the circus. I don't do the circus, right?" And then she chimed in at one point, like, "Yeah, I don't do the circus because my movie was coming out and blah blah blah." And he kind of was like, "I'm not even talking about you, bro." Vibe. He didn't say that, but that was the vibe I got from it. If you will, I feel like he wasn't talking about her and him. I feel like he was talking about Remy and him. Like, Remy and I don't do the circus. I don't do the circus. Even when they were going through their tumultuous, back and forth and whatever's going on, and like rumors, are they breaking up? Are they divorcing? Are they getting back together? No, they're together here. No, that's rumors. When it was rumors and we didn't have facts in the way of Claressa Shields popping up, we couldn't tell because they handled it behind closed doors. And it wasn't until Claressa got involved, the triangulation of it all, is when Remy went public with what was really going on. And of course, we all had our questions, we're scratching our head when we kept on seeing her in matching outfits with Easy the Block Captain. So there you go. But I feel like if she kind of regroups and focus and get out the mess, you might be all right.
Yes, you know what's going on. Like
So she's promoting Shakur Stevenson's fight. What about your fight?
I ain't even got to say much. Don't even make a big scene. Just go. And I feel like I smiled the whole way through, you know. And she ended up, leaving her and her kids. And I told the
I need
kids,
the
like, listen,
cousin.
I
Oh
love
no no,
y'all. I wish I could.
because I took bits and pieces of it. I kind of chopped all the way through it. So this particular part right here, she's saying that she was at a fight, if I'm not mistaken, and her cousin came to the fight with her kids, and I guess they had facial recognition because she's that serious on not having the cousin in her presence. Think about that. So the facial recognition is what she's saying. In the arena, they recognized it was her cousin, and so she was able to cut them off before they got to any type of seating, and told them they gotta leave. And she told the kids, "I love you, but I hate your mama, and y'all got to go."
Do something for y'all, but I'm sorry, like, if she would have had somebody else bring her kids, they would have got a gift. But I just had to, because, baby, play on the internet, but don't think I'm gonna let you play in my face. Never that. So I put the girl out, y'all. Her and the kids, Lord have mercy. And I thought about it a little bit. I'm like, dang, I kind of felt bad because what if she really needed help? And then I done found out, y'all, this girl done got evicted from her house right before Thanksgiving. And now she's staying with a friend
Now this is the
or
part
whatever.
here. This is the part I will say to Clarissa. And this is when and I'm gonna call her Clarissa because she is being Clarissa these days, like in this video that I'm reacting to today. So to Clarissa, I will say two wrongs don't make a right. Right? Two wrongs don't make a right. So your cousin went on the internet and false, true or not, we don't know, but true or not, and I get it because I know me, so I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's pissing you off, but two wrongs don't make a right because it kind of fuels your character and it says a lot about you by following up and telling her business now. And I get it. You're like, yo, you want to talk about me? I'm gonna talk about you. I get it. That's the easiest thing that we all would want to do. Like, well, she did this. Look what she said this about me. Let me tell you about her. It's the easiest thing. It's a natural instinct in us to do it. But two wrongs don't make a right. Like I said it when Layla Ali dropped her video, the first part one. Imagine if Clarissa didn't do that, her reaction to it. And then let's say Layla did a part two, and Clarissa still didn't respond. We'd be like on the edge of our seats, right? And then imagine if Clarissa did a media run instead, just announcing $8 million. And, this is my deal. This is how I'm responding. You didn't want to take the $15 million fight. This is my response. I signed the $8 million contract. I'm doing 4 fights next year. The Layla Ali thing is behind me. You still old. You still stuck on old news. I don't want to fight you no more. Am I right? Am I making sense? But the responding, guilty. They say a hit dog hollers, right? The response, guilty. Remy. They're back and forth, guilty. Going on the Breakfast Club. Remy said whatever she said last year, and we ain't see nothing else. We ain't see nothing else. And then it could be, oh, Remy cheated first. Remy cheated first. I'm gonna say for you guys again, Remy cheated first. So y'all don't gotta put it in the comments. Remy cheated first. But y'all act like husband and wife has not cheated in history and reconciled. And you know what I always see happen when, it could be both parties cheating. It could be one person that cheated and, the other person's pissed off because desecrated the vows, our sacred vows and disrespected our marriage by stepping out of it, right? But then guess what happens? There's things like marriage counseling. There's things like culture. There's things about like comfort and tenure of just being together that can supersede any infidelity out there, right? So guess what happens? It's like, oh, wow, my wife gets me. My wife knows how I like my macaroni and cheese. My wife knows how I like my shirts and underwear folded up. Just different little nuances that would make him go home. You'd be surprised. What was that movie? Think Like a Man? I want to say it was Think Like a Man. No. It was the movie when Jill Scott had to go up the mountain and her husband had the little white girl. You know which movie I'm talking about. It might be the same one. I'm thinking it's the same one, but I could be wrong. But that movie, when Jill Scott was married to the jerk, and she had to drive up the ski mountain by herself. You remember, you know what I'm talking about. And she ended up meeting the sheriff. In that movie, that's something that stood out to me. They said the 80-20 rule. They say you'll get 80% of what makes you happy at home because no one's 100%. We're not perfect, right? But you can guarantee a life of comfort with about 80% because that 20% is room for growth, room for error, just room for occasional disagreement, right? Not saying you want to be like that, but it happens, right? But 80% of the time, you can have a good life with your mate, all right? But what happens is people will tend to step outside of that because guess what? You have 80% at home, but that 20% is what that other person may offer, and it seems exciting in the moment. Unlimited sex, just the the sporadicness,
Low
the
battery.
excitement,
Please
the
charge.
the thrill of sneaking around, all of that stuff. That's 20%. But that'll get you excited and it'll keep you involved. It'll keep you going. Now, let's say you forfeit your home. You leave your home. You break up with your wife or you break up with your husband. Like, look, you don't do it for me. This is boring. This guy excites me. This girl gives me everything I need. And they leave. And they go with their 20%. 9 times out of the 10, they're going to realize that they had 80%, if not 90% at home. Because they're going to be like, dang, something the food ain't just going to hit right. She may not be as clean, body-wise or house-wise. There's going to always be something. He may not, be as nurturing or caring. He may not pick up on the little things, your little hints like your husband did. It's just the luck of the draw. It's the way of life. The 80-20 rule. And then some people are like, well, I'm not settling for 80%. I want my whole 100%. I get y'all. I hear y'all out there. I hear y'all. But guess what? There's no one that's 100% perfect, right? So in some instances, you can have 80% at home, leave it, and now you're dealing with 20%. And that goes for both of them. I'm not
Low
saying
battery.
that Claressa is
Please
20%
charge.
and Papoose, and Remy's 80% for Papoose or nothing like that. Because guess what? Tony could have been her 80%, right? Papoose could be her 20%, right? When she was with Tony, everyone said the proof is in the pudding. She was fit. I've never seen her look, this big. And I know she's going up in weight classes. So I don't want to disrespect her or body shame and say like, oh, she's just eating. We see her eating. We know she's eating. We see her. We know she's eating. But I don't want to say that, it's something wrong with that because she might be trying to put on the weight to get, be a heavier weight class. I don't know. But I know when she was with Tony, she was different. She was fit. She would go live and be in steamed broccoli and like peppers and, like no meat type of stuff. and it was just like a different, it was like an athlete in mode. You ever seen? I've watched boxers, have documentaries and they're eating,
Low
and I'm
battery.
watched
Please
basketball
charge.
players and they're eating, like training and conditioning coaches, and you've seen all. I've watched all of that. I've seen all of that. Witnessed all of that. You know, and it just was a different image in her prior relationship. So I'm not trying to say in any capacity that she is the 20% and Papoose is, and Remy's 80%. But in Papoose's situation, maybe she is 20% and Remy is 80%, right? And then in her situation, maybe Papoose is 20% and a dude like Tony was 80%. And then you see the difference now. Because times like this, holiday time, times to be around family, times where you need support because family ain't shit. Excuse my language. And cutting up on Tasha K. Times like this, you want someone to be there for you and support you. You don't want to see your dude on Instagram talking about we are family. You know what I'm saying? And this is what you're going through. But I digress. Let's continue and let's hear what
Low
Claressa
battery.
has to
Please
say.
charge.
Because the shelter filled up. And I was like, dang, I kind of wanted to reach out to.
But this is about the cousin, and I wanted to just say two wrongs don't make a right. Because she went and talked about you, now you're talking about her. I don't like it. I don't like the whole dynamic. Just stay away from each other. Act like you don't know each other. Block her. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you, the worst thing you could do, or to a person, is act like they don't exist. Trust me, it's the worst thing you could ever do. But giving her this light here, responding to what she's saying, in her mind, she won because she got you to speak. She got you out her element. She's looking at you right now like, I ruined your Christmas.
And like, hey, did you get the kids any gifts? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I just like, you know what? That's just karma, right? That's just karma because some people have no reason to come for me, and I keep telling folks, we run a gym. I'm about to train little kids, little boys, little girls, have a nice gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really putting my people on who got a lot of respect and love for me. I'm not dealing with nobody who's ever tried to. Yeah, the one who did that with homegirl, yeah, she is a jealous relative. She's not even a close relative. She is my mama's uncle daughter. She's not my close cousin, first cousin. We're not close.
Now, do you remember when I said, the little girl was there with her the whole entire time on the live? You see how many different ranges of adult conversation. Now, she hasn't said too much like profanity, and she hasn't said too much, like, X-rated or nothing like that or whatever. But I still feel like it's a grown conversation. Conversations where you're talking about another relative or you're having beef with someone and you're like telling the story of them being homeless or whatever like that. It's not conversations to have in front of the kids. You know? This is a prime example where my granny would be like, yo, move. You see people talking, grown people talking. Go in another room, watch
Low
TV.
battery.
Come on to me
Please
face.
charge.
You know what I'm saying? But it'd be some one of variations of that. Like adults are talking. And I know she's talking to us on the live, but situational awareness, aware of your surroundings, right? I don't think you should have kids anytime soon because you should just focus on you.
Close like that. The way that she's trying to make it seem, we're not. And I have not seen this girl in 9 years. And when I did give her a chance to get back cool and to squash the beef that she had with me, because I ain't had no beef for her except for that she lied and did things to me. This cousin wants to be a celebrity. She wants to go on baddies. She wants to be a girl who fight people and all this stuff. She one of them.
So that's the part for me that I feel like she uses her own inner turmoil and projects it onto others. Like I remember one time she was talking about the English fighter
Low battery.
that
Please
she fought,
charge.
and she said, "Oh, she's racist. She wants to be black. She hates because I'm black, or whatever." Right? The girl's like, "What? I never said nothing like that." Um, just a lot of her insecurities bubble up to the top, and then she kind of pushes them out and projects them on other people. Who has been hitting up networks, tagging Zeus Network, tagging all types of networks. They even tagged 50 Cent Network in, if I'm not mistaken. You know, for a reality show about 100K to fight Claressa Shields. Who's been trying to tell who went on the Breakfast Club and said they had a whole deck worked out, and and who's been talking about she'll fight the baddies, all this stuff? Claressa. But and that's sort of part where I feel like she'll take a bit of her and project it onto someone else. Like when she said, "My cousin wants to be on baddies. My cousin wants to fight everyone." That's you.
And did things to me. This cousin wants to be a celebrity. She wants to go on baddies. She wants to be a girl who fight people and all this stuff. She wanted them. And when she can't get no attention, she used the "I'm Claressa Shields' cousin" card. Now it wasn't working. The way that she was using it. So now she's like, let me up it a notch. Maybe I need to go out here and just lie and make up stuff. Cause I don't even talk to her. When I did get back cool with her, she was like, I wish I would record. She's like, I'm just so sorry that I did all that trolling and lying on you. I had thought you said this and thought you said that. And then she kept saying she got a video where I said, she said I said that she sex trafficked her daughter or something like that. The one that I was supposed to adopt 9-10 years ago.
Do you see what I'm saying? I feel like certain comments. I guess I'm old school because I know you're probably gonna tear me up in the comments and tell me how like, oh please, that ain't nothing. She ain't did nothing wrong. And maybe I am old school, but I just don't have certain conversations in front of children. I don't care if you're using profanity or not. These kids were born with the tablets in their hands and the computers attached, the mouse attached to their hand. Cell phones attached to them. These kids are not dumb and they listen actively. When you think they're just running around and not paying you attention, they're sucking it up. They're a sponge, So I feel like this should be a time and place. Or you should be like, hey, I'm streaming live. Go upstairs because I might get a little crazy with it. And I get it. She's like, I don't care. Keep her around. But then be mindful, situational awareness. Be mindful of what you're talking about around her, around that child. Right? Now you're talking about sex trafficking around her. Sex trafficking another child around her. Okay, let's continue.
Stop doing that. And I was like, what? Excuse me, Mom. Excuse me. So then she talking about she got a video of me or somebody saying, I said, well, send me the video when I was cool with her. I said, because I've never said that. She never sent it.
Low battery. Please charge.
She never sent the video. And I was cool with her for a good 3 months. Trying to squash me for her after she trolled me for 8-9 years. Tried to get back cool with her, whatever.
So at the beginning of this, guys, because like I said, I'm an active listener. At the beginning of this, I could have swore she said that she has not seen her or talked to her or physically been in the same room with her in over 9 years. Right? The cousin. Let's go back a bit.
She never sent it. She never sent the video. And I was cool with her for a good 3 months. Trying to squash me for her after she trolled me for 8-9 years.
So she tried to be cool with her for a good 3 months after she trolled her for 8-9 years. So was these 3 months recently? Was it prior to Tasha K? Were you trying to circumvent and prevent the Tasha K interview?
Low battery.
Because it seemed like you spoke to her recently. In my opinion, just based on what you said. You made us believe that you did not see her for 9 years to follow up right at the end and say, I've seen her. We were cool for about 3 months after she trolled me for 9 years. Okay, got it.
Tried to get back cool with her, whatever. Because for some reason, people seem to believe this weirdo because she got pictures of when we was close. When we was cool 9 years ago, people believe this stuff. And it's like, I don't really care about what nobody believes because guess what? The truth is in the pudding. She's so mad. She tried to turn my little brother against me, my little sister against me, and she get mad because they got common sense. They got common sense.
So that was a Christmas extravaganza of Papoose. Clarissa was with her family, her brother and her sister, her nieces and nephews, I believe in
Low
Atlanta.
battery.
And
Please
Papoose, as you can
charge.
see on the screen, was with his family in Atlanta, excuse me, in New Jersey or New York, either or, but the tri-state area. A lot of blah or negative. It's a somber mood, I guess. I'm trying to find the right words for the holiday season for Clarissa, courtesy of her family, courtesy of that cousin, right? I think that coupled with Papoose not being there with her to support her during this time is weighing on her, right? I hope that this does not hinder her from having a successful fight. I really don't, because it's coming. It's coming fast, right? And then yeah. Then her niece, right? Like you see him with his daughter here. They had a good time, all the kids around or whatever like that. So her niece was with her, and she kept her on camera. Especially if you go to Snapchat, you see more of the niece, which you interpret that as you will. Tell me if I'm reaching or not.
Low battery.
But
Please charge.
yeah, I think it was interesting because with the video, well, not the video, with the Breakfast Club interview, followed up with a lot of the pictures and like press that was just all over like Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. And it was like, it looked like press, like put together press, right? Not like me who I'm just reacting to something that she said or something that she did. It looks like paid press, paid endorsements, like we're going to sell the story that Papoose and Clarissa, we're going to get ahead of them. They spent the holidays together. That's the vibe I got. So now I'm looking for the holiday activities, just like we knew it was the baby's birthday and we were looking for the birthday party, and it did not disappoint. Remy didn't disappoint us, right? We saw the birthday party. I was kind of looking for that from them. And that's very telling. It says a lot. But we're not done. We're going to be done here and follow up. But I got some other stuff that I want to follow up with you. So get used to this shirt. You see my shirt? It says allegedly. Because I got a couple of more things
Low
that I'm going
battery.
to, a
Please
couple of more
charge.
rabbit holes, I should say, that I'm going to fall down. Now, this one, I just wanted to more so react to the holiday time, right? And I didn't want to kick anyone where they're down, right? Because I can see that is a lot wearing on Clarissa. And at the beginning of the year, this is kind of what I was seeing. And I was hoping that she could have avoided it. But we are here. They say wherever you go, there you are. And here we are. So I'm gonna leave y'all there, and I'm gonna tell y'all what I always tell y'all. First of all, shout out to my talkers. Let me give you all a kiss. Ow! Shout out to my talkers. Shout out to the new subscribers out there. Thank you, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for joining the conversation. Consider joining the membership so we can have really in-depth conversations, because I'm talking to you, you're talking to me, and my goal is to have us talking to each other real soon. Okay? But right now, I'm going to go ahead and hit you with the motto, and I'm going to hit you with the brand. If you like anything I do, tell a friend.
Low
If you
battery.
don't like anything I
Please
do,
charge.
tell a friend. And from my lips to your ears, you know I love you, right? But I need you to love me. So go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. When you hit that like button, it's going to swipe left. Hit that hype button, okay? And then join me in the comments. Hit the like button, share it, tell a friend, and tell a friend. And until next time, it's your girl Gongali. It's She Could Talk to Podcast, and I'm out. Peace.
They talk about it. They talk about it. They talk about it.